Alright guys, here we go. UFC 111 main card predictions. Start at the bottom. Mark Bocek against Jim Miller. This is definitely a fight that Bocek deserves. He's a good wrestler, good grappling skills. Mostly a top position BJJ guy. He's got 3 pretty good wins in a row, and all by finish. He definitely deserves this fight. But Jim Miller is the better, more well-rounded fighter. Jim Miller kind of only loses to guys that are better wrestlers than him. Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard, and those are his only 2 losses. And Bocek, he's a good wrestler. He's not as good as Jim Miller. Jim Miller has also improved his boxing. If you look at his last fight, how the fight actually got to the ground with Dwayne Ludwig is he hit him with a punch and dropped him. Good ground and pound, and on top of that, he's got good submission skills as well. Very good submission skills, actually. So in this one, I see Jim Miller, dictating where the fight goes. It's just another one of those fights where he gets to put it where he wants to. And Jim Miller could possibly sub Bocek, but I doubt it. If he couldn't sub Matt Danzig, I don't think he'll be able to sub Bocek. But I see Jim Miller taking him down, landing some pretty brutal ground and pound, winning on the feet. Jim Miller, 30-27, just straight, clear-cut, unanimous decision. Thiago Alves against John Fitch. The rematch, 4 years in the making. It seems to me that while both guys have improved, Alves has improved a lot, much more than Fitch has. And with that is not only skills in, different techniques and stuff like that, it's skills in game planning. Fitch is going to have the same game plan every time. He's going to, work his boxing a little, take you down, and grind on you. And, a lot of that just has to come with it. It comes with his physicality. He's a very physical fighter. He's not so much on technique as he much is on pure skill or not skill, but pure just brute force. Thiago Alves, on the other hand, he knows how to game plan, and yes, he's got his set way of how he wants to win a fight, but he can game plan around it. I mean, he's always looking for ways that he can keep the fight on the feet, and if he gets taken down, standing back up, and Georges St-Pierre, yes, he took down Thiago Alves. Yes, he probably outstruck Thiago Alves. But John Fitch isn't the striker that St-Pierre is. He isn't as quick as him. He isn't as good as a wrestler as GSP. And Alves is confident. I mean, and that's the thing, coming off a loss. How confident are you? And Fitch hasn't looked amazing in his last couple of fights. I mean, he almost got subbed. In retrospect, his win against Paulo Thiago is good. A great win because Thiago's a killer now. But he almost lost the fight at the end to Pierce, and I don't know. I just see Alves keeping this on the feet, peppering him. It could look like the Koscheck fight where Alves avoids the takedowns. Fitch has a good chin. He has been KO'd before, so I wouldn't, put it past Thiago Alves. I think the only way Thiago Alves KOs him, not really from a punch. I think he KOs him from a knee. So if he does KO him, it's definitely going to be a knee, I think. But I'm going to go with Thiago Alves by unanimous decision. I want to see him finish this fight, though. Really want to see him finish this fight. Okay, next fight. Jake Ellenberger, Ben Saunders. This fight, yes, definitely deserves to be on the main card. A win or an impressive win for either one of these guys propels them pretty, high up, just above mid-tier status, bordering on contender status. I've had problems, thinking about this fight because Ellenberger hits like he's got, bricks attached to his hand. The dude just hits hard, and he's got very good wrestling. In the Condit fight, he proved that he also is fairly slick on the ground in terms of BJJ and, submission wrestling and stuff like that. Saunders, where I can see Saunders win this fight, clinch. I mean, Ellenberger, when he's going for takedowns or throwing his huge right hand, he has a propensity to drop his head down, and he could get caught with a knee. That said, I think Ellenberger has a pretty good chin. He doesn't want to get caught in Ben Saunders' clinch, but I think he can win this fight by hitting with big shots and wrestling. Basically like the Swick fight, but Ellenberger can KO Saunders in one shot instead of TKOing him like Fitch did. Saunders can win this fight even after maybe a takedown, because he's got a very good guard. He's long. He's like 6'3". He's got good arm bars, good triangles, and Saunders is a very good fighter. But I'm going to go with Jake Ellenberger, second round KO, just putting Saunders out with a right hand. Either one of these guys can end the fight. I think this fight's going to end either way. I don't see this fight going to a decision either way. Both guys, have abilities to end the fight. Shane Carwin against Frank Mir. Awesome fight. Awesome fight. Carwin, 11 wins. None of them have gone over 3 minutes. We all know this. Frank Mir, he just seems so... both guys seem pretty extremely confident. Carwin still... for having 11 fights, he's probably the greenest fighter, to have 11 wins ever. But, his last fight, he almost got caught. He almost got KO'd. He's got a decent chin. Although, when he got hit, he just backed straight up. He didn't, he didn't cover up. He didn't move to, And I think Frank Mir has the better technical striking. His boxing has looked far improved. And this is basically a case on the feet of technique against just pure power. Carwin, his boxing is not that good. He throws straight 1-2s. That's it. That's essentially all the man throws. It's nothing against him because he makes up for that by hitting as hard with his hands as a horse kicks. So, Frank Mir's got to watch out for that, and he's got to watch out for Carwin, to take him down, because Frank Mir is, if you could say one thing about Frank Mir is that when he gets hit in the face on the ground, he kind of doesn't, he's out of his element. He doesn't know what to do, and that's basically, look at all his TKOs. Ian Freeman, Brock Lesnar, Brandon Vera, his TKOs on the ground because he basically just covers up and doesn't do anything about it. And Carwin can definitely do that. But I see Frank Mir winning this fight. Better technique on the feet, catching Shane Carwin, Carwin shooting for a takedown, getting caught in a guillotine. I know Frank doesn't want Carwin in his guard, but Frank Mir's got a very, very, very active guard, and I don't think Carwin has the speed or the technique to keep up with that. So I'm going to go with Frank Mir by late first round sub. I don't think this fight is going to go, 5 rounds, they don't need 5 rounds. You could give them 2.5 rounds. It's still too much time. Shane Carwin, very, very good fighter. I just see Frank Mir winning this one. There you go. Georges St-Pierre against Dan Hardy. I think everybody knows what I'm going to pick. So let's talk about how Dan Hardy can win this one. A lot of talk about how GSP wants no part of Dan Hardy on the feet. Dan Hardy is this one-shot kill artist. One punch, everybody's done. Nobody has a chance when he hits you. Dan Hardy has had one clean KO. Rory Markham. Everybody else, yeah, he's had TKOs, and yes, the man has power, and the man has good hands. Good counters, good left hook, but, he couldn't finish Marcus Davis, he couldn't finish Mike Swick, and he's going to finish St-Pierre because St-Pierre has this mysterious glass chin. Hardy has one way to win this fight. He's not going to sub him. He could KO him or TKO him. Georges St-Pierre, and I'm not trying to give grief to Hardy or Hardy fans, because the man is a good fighter, and there's a lot of intriguing matchups that I want to see. Georges St-Pierre is on another level. There's a reason he's top 3 pound for pound in the world. You can argue about it all you want, about what place he is in the top 3. But St-Pierre is going to win this fight. And I think he needs to finish this fight because if he grinds out a decision, people are going to jump all over his nuts again. And me included, because you should be finishing fights. I mean, especially when somebody, you know, your opponent is that much more deficient than you at 2 or 3 aspects of the MMA game. So how is he going to do it? Most likely he's going to take him down, pass his guard, and sub him. He could take him down, pass his guard, and TKO him. So that's another option. But I'm going to go with, I'm going to give Hardy some credit because I think St-Pierre knows 5 rounds, he's got time, and he doesn't want to get caught with some stupid shot early. So we'll go 3rd round. 3rd round submission, Georges St-Pierre. You guys, stay metal. Later.